Welcome to Japan. Welcome to Okazaki. And welcome to the funding guide meeting. All right. So this is the first funding guide community event meeting. So anyway, so I'm happy to start with this event. So my name is Shuichi Onami, working at RIKEN, and also one of the leading scientists in a project called the Funding Guide. So okay, so on, well, many of you already kind of the continued discussion, but anyway, so on behalf of the organizing committee of this event, so I'm very happy to say, and also to want to say thank you to coming to join this event, not only from Japan or nearest area, but also from the worldwide. Okay, so, and I'm so grateful and excited to have you here in Okazaki. All right, so I should keep it short, okay? So, and funding guide is a project funded by the European Commission. And so actually between, this is an international collaboration project between the EU, European Union, and Australia and Japan. So, and project is aiming to develop the foundation of the guide. So, and the detail will be introduced by the Aastha more beautifully. And so I will make it some brief things. So that's what is guide? Okay, guide is a global image data ecosystem. Okay, so, and basically idea is to globally share the imaging data, but as you can imagine, not only limited to the sharing. So we basically think about in the future maybe at, from the beginning of the production of the imaging data, share the image data, and the use or reuse of the imaging data. Okay, so this is, I think, really the guide looking for. And also, the project itself is, as I said, between the, because this is a funded project, right? So it is written in the document, like in between the collaboration with the Europe and the Japan and Australia. But so we aim more, right? So that's how we want to make the real global system, including not only this country and the region, so including any country in the world, worldwide. So, and also, not only that, so not only limited to the imaging data. So we should think about beyond. That we will now integrate the other modality in the biological field, like omics or proteomics or others, so metabolomics or others. So that's a basic idea, at least in my personal opinion. So, and because of that, so here I'm very happy to see many people continue to be here and from the imaging field, but many people, and also the Japan, Australia, and the EU, but we, we can see many people from the other country. Okay, so I'm very happy to welcome you, and also many people from the field different from the imaging, right? So, and we have many speakers from the not imaging field and not this country. So that is that this community event maybe. So one of the aim of this project is, so we want to make this funding guide project beyond, right? So, and we want to think about some wider, more advanced of this funding guide project idea. So that is the, yeah, idea of the, I hope this idea is this meeting. So I hope that we have a good, exciting discussion in between those wonderful people. And so we have a very kind of excellent speakers and panelists. And so we have the great participants from the, and so we are very much looking forward to the wonderful continued discussion from the, yeah, this the GBI EOE event, right? So, and I should, in the beginning of the meeting, so we prepared this meeting. So, and so I want to point it out the many kind of the contributor for the event. That is, I should first say that's the main founder of the European Commission, and also, yeah, thanks to the invited speakers and panelists, and also staff working at yeah, from my side, Riken. So, and so many people, including Aiko, Koji, and Hiroya, and Go, has very much contributed to make this happen. And also the many support from the ABIS and NIVB and Okazaki team. And so I cannot kind of make the all name, but of course, Shinya Naoto and of course, Dr. Tatematsu for preparing all the kind of things here, and also the staff from the Euro-BioImaging, so and Aastha and Maria and so Sadeep and so Yara, so those and more. So they are very much hard to discuss and between to make it happen. So as you can imagine, that is Japan and Europe. We have the 7 hours difference. So that's we we always have a discussion in the morning of the Germany. So and so, but sometimes in the late night or something. So and that is very kind of fun for us. So and I enjoy. But anyway, so I want to thank those guys and so and many, as you can imagine, many people behind the scene contributed very well to make it happen. So, and I want to thank these people. So, and so I want to start this the meeting, but before doing, so can you switch the screen? Oh no, this is yeah, this one. Okay, so actually today we published we appeared a new paper from the nucleic acid research of the database issue about the SSBD. So, and not only SSBD, but we wrote thing about the, yeah, the funding guide. So that is, I don't know that's about, it's going to be the very first appearance of the actual funding guide project in the papers. So, and this is today, so maybe so you will check it. So, and I'm happy to share with you this the good things. And that it's going to be a good start after this meeting. So, and yeah, this time, so just so I want to close my remark, and I want to express again, thank you very much for coming and join. And I hope, I'm looking for the exciting discussion, and I hope you enjoy these 2 days. So, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot, and it's a pleasure opening the session here because we had a wonderful time together with Global Bioimaging, and one of the topics there was exactly what foundingGIDE is all about, a global image data ecosystem. Now the task is challenging, and there are lots of things to consider. And the nice thing here is that we have now an opportunity to think about these things really at the nuts and bolts level. And also there will be the hackathon where even more details will be discussed, obviously. So the background is that Euro-BioImaging applied for the project, but originally it is started as an initiative from Global Bioimaging Interaction. So I think that's something for us to remember also. Shuichi described the project quite nicely. My own background is I'm a professor in cell biology, but I've been Director General for already some time. And I thought I would spend a few moments describing the organization behind foundingGIDE, because that in the following years when we are working together, that will be a resource for you to consider. And of course, when we have a project which has limited resources and a big task, we're looking for possibilities to expand those resources. First of all, most of you are familiar with Euro-BioImaging in terms of the scope, but we have imaging spanning from very high resolution and small items going up to basically medical and clinical imaging, animals and human beings. So that's the scope, and as you can understand, the scope implies a lot of data, different forms of data, so many different technologies, and the data interactions and the compatibility and so forth is a challenge. When it comes to Euro-BioImaging, there is a promise also to take care of data and especially facilitate data management. Obviously, one of the prime goals of Euro-BioImaging is access of different sorts, also access to expertise, to best practice and to wonderful staff, training opportunities and so forth. And it's open to everybody. So that's the outset. Now, if we look at the organization, how it has developed in the past few years, it has developed quite rapidly. So it was officially approved at the end of 2019. Now already we have an expanded member base. This is a distributed infrastructure, meaning that it's not in one place, but it's distributed around Europe. And you can see here the different cities are depicted by pins. But in many of the cities, you actually have several service facilities. It's organized with more than 40 nodes, but under each node there are several service facilities, ending up in total in 237 service facilities. And you can imagine that this is a lot of people, it's a lot of expertise, it's a lot of enthusiasm, and it's a lot of data. So then also the conservative estimate of the total infrastructure funding of this organization in terms of funding at the nodes is 1 billion, but that is a very conservative estimate. Then we have a hub, which is the headquarters. It's a tripartite hub where we have the seat. The legal body is in Finland, in Turku, where I am. And then we have the biohub in EMBL and the medical hub in Torino. That's how the organization is organized. More than 120 technologies. If we look at the users, you can see there's a distribution. Lots of cell biologists. We have plant biology. It's increasing rapidly. Cancer biology, not surprisingly. Neuroscience, those are the biggest users. But there are many of these user categories that are expanding fast. Just for you to remember, especially when you're thinking about opportunities, that we are in the middle of this rather complex European infrastructure landscape. So these are called ERICs. These are particular organizations which have a little bit special format of operation, tax exemptions and so forth. And this landscape is for you to explore. We have especially active collaboration with various infrastructure organizations in life sciences, here listed here. So lots of abbreviations for you to explore, but there is a lot of data also behind many of these, lots of data interactions and possibilities. We have three big SERV projects. We have the AgroServe, CanServe, and Isidore. So those are experiments by the European Commission of how one can employ infrastructure organizations to serve the user community. Isidore for infectious diseases, CanServe for cancer, and AgroServe for agroecology. And again, here we have many different data formats, many different data challenges, but also now very timely when it comes to Isidore, which comes to an end, we have opportunities to create data platforms. Then here are our projects. That's our project portfolio. I will not go into those, but obviously the European Union projects, that's an opportunity for this community also to consider, especially when it comes to data management and development. Artificial intelligence, you are not unfamiliar with, obviously. That's a very timely topic, not the least in image analysis and so forth. And we have a very nice project on that, which is called AI for Life. We're considering a continuation of this that comes to an end next year, but it's worked out very well, and we're looking for sustainability. Obviously, when it comes to AI, also data formats are a challenge. Then I will mention two big projects which I will not have a chance to describe, but they are only data, and they are clinical and medical research data. This is called EUKIME. That's actually in DG Connect, that's in the Communications Directorate. And it's about federated clinical image data. Very challenging, but this team has worked a long time with that, and the goal is very concrete. AI-based federated access to cancer image clinical data. Another project which is also huge is called UNCAN, Understanding Cancer, and that's for research, cancer research data. It's a more complicated project in terms of scope and outset, but their ambition is to create a federated data hub and AI that would be using the data, research data, to actually suggest topics for use cases. This is in its very beginning. The first use case applications are now submitted, and we'll see how it goes. But again, for you to remember and explore all of these projects, you can find web pages on. The final topic to explore is that we have an active engagement in innovation. And as you know, in innovation, when it comes to imaging techniques, they have a long runway. So from initial discovery of a principle in physics or chemistry or something, until you have a turnkey technology, it takes a long time. And that is something we want to foster. And increasingly in this kind of innovation business, data management is coming in. And to facilitate this endeavor, we have an industry board, and we're fortunate enough to have Herbert Schaden here in the room, who is the chairman of the industry board. Timely, I come to my last slide, which I will not go through because I know that Aastha is going through all of this in greater detail. But here you can basically see the goals of the project. And it's a lot, it's a handful. But in this project, the first and foremost, and the most low-hanging fruit is global collaboration and creation of synergy. That is happening right here. So I would wish you all welcome aboard. It will be a fun ride, and we will enjoy that for sure. Thanks a lot.
Well, warm welcome from my side. Introducing myself, my name is Aastha Mathur. I'm Head of Image Data Services at Euro-BioImaging, Eric. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we plan to do in laying strong foundations for a global image data ecosystem. And I will tell you why we're only starting to do this. We are at a good time though. So what is a global image data ecosystem? Well, we actually thought, why do we need it? What is it that we actually need at this point of time in the imaging community? We want to be able to exploit the vast potential of image data because there is so much of it and it's rich. We also want to consolidate community efforts because there's so much going on across the world, whether it is in national initiatives, regional initiatives, or it is in domain-specific communities. So a lot of work is already ongoing. However, we do need one voice in many cases because it's easy for a lot of people to just brush us off by saying that, make up your mind and come back to us when you know better. But, I think we do know better. So what we also want to do, what we also thought was a need was to adapt with the developing technology because technology is developing fast, data is getting larger, multimodal, and more complex. It's a challenge, an exciting one, but a challenge nonetheless. And of course, we also need to be able to sustainably deal with the vast amount of image data. You remember how Antti started with that exponential curve in the beginning? Yeah, it's a very exciting time, but it's a challenge that we need to take care of. So with that, we thought of trying to establish a global image data ecosystem. So we started to do that as was introduced by John through this European Commission funded project called foundingGIDE. So in this project, we want to establish coordination among open global image data resources. We want to increase the interoperability amongst these resources also within the imaging domain, because even that is not a given. It's something that we need to be working on, and we are working on. We also want to focus on engaging and providing guidance to the community, to the end users, so that they can also feel and reap the benefit of things that people are trying to do on a very technological level. But how does that actually benefit them, right? We also want to plan for solutions that are hopefully going to be sustainable, because we're trying really hard to produce a lot of output and make a lot of solutions, but we have to also be able to maintain them over time. So this is something that we have in the back of our heads for sure. And we want to have an ecosystem where resources can be interlinked, like John pointed out, that it doesn't have to be limited to imaging resources, but all kind of data, multimodal data, different kinds of data that can be interlinked. So who are the people? Well, what's nice is many of them are here. So we actually decided to work together as a proof of concept between the European research infrastructure, so that's where Euro-BioImaging comes in, and we also have German bioimaging and the OME team involved, as well as our counterparts in Japan, that is the ABIS infrastructure, and also the RIKEN partners that we have, Shuichi, you just heard from, as well as our partners from Australia, that's the NIF and Microscopy Australia. So what our trick was to also have the data resources on board, and hence you see all those very familiar logos by now. So we have the Bioimage Archive, IDR, and SSBD, and we are also attempting to work on preclinical data, so we also have a little XNAT down there. So you see that the project start date is 1st of January, and it's a 30-month project. Wow, we really set ourselves a tight deadline there. But, we're taking a first step, and I am really glad to see that you all are here to support us in that. All right. As you can see, the slide is a little bit messed up because our community is also a little bit all over the place. But we are actually comprised of research infrastructures, like I just mentioned. We have the data infrastructure that I just introduced. But we also have community, which could be natives, but in case it is initiatives. So we are actually trying to work out with the different domain-specific communities, and that's why you will also hear some of the talks later on that we will have people from Volume EM and the EDAM bioimaging as well. But this is not just it. We are also working towards helping the individual researcher. Now, this is a slide that I basically just took from Maria, or the one that Yara presented earlier. That's because I think it very nicely shows what we actually need, and from an end user point of view, what all this effort that we're going to talk about, which might sound a little bit technical when it comes to ontologies and metadata, what does it mean to me? Well, if you're like me and you probably forgot to bring an adapter, you're going to be very happy once we have something like that. So with foundingGIDE, we actually want to provide an interoperability layer such that the data is a little bit more interchangeable, it's more interoperable, and as an end user, you can have seamless access to it. Yes, big dreams, but hey, we are going in the right direction, I hope. Okay, now this was from an imaging scientist point of view. If we just flip it around, this will kind of tell you how the project structure looks like. So we are going to work towards the ontologies that people can use. So these are ways in which people can describe not just the biological sample, but the experiments, the way they were done, as well as how they fit into this metadata model such that your data actually becomes discoverable. So this will actually help us build better interoperability amongst the resources. And we're really, as you can see, we're really trying to do this in 2 layers. We are working towards extra interoperability on the microscopy image data side, but also towards preclinical imaging data, such that we also can talk to each other a little bit better, step by step, but the bigger goal is in front of our eyes. And so with that resource interoperability, we will be able to have applications built on top of it. These could include search portals, analytics, as well as technology portals for discoverability of those data. All right, what does the global community get out of it? Because I did mention that we have some partners that are directly involved, but our major objective here is to work together with the global community. We want to do some proof of concept developments like this during the project such that they can be adopted and be useful for the global community. What does it look like? Well, on one corner, you'll see what our main objectives are. Hopefully, we will eventually end up with a coordinated community. We should have some guidance on what are the conserved ontologies one can use, as well as have harmonized data that can enable this data interoperability. And for a user, what does it mean? Well, they will be able to interact with a coordinated international bioimaging community. So none of that, I don't know what you guys are talking about or who should I talk to, because we are really trying to come together here. And this is, of course, facilitated by events like this. We have one here. We will have 2 more, and you'll hear about them more in the coming days. We also want to adopt ontologies and community-led data resources approved. And this is where a little, let's say, cookie comes in, because if a data resource actually tells you, hey, use these ontologies, you'll be like, hey, if I use them, if I use this metadata schema, I can actually deposit my data there. So I